Well, it's June again. Didn't used to dread June, but seems to be a rough month these days for the decent people of the world. June brings a lot of problems. A lot of problems pop up in June. A lot of degenerate behavior, from violent black teenage takeovers in large cities to perverted old men twerking in front of children in his underwear while the parents and relatives cheer. It's really disgusting. It's really disgusting that you would take children that you are related to in any way, or children that you're not related to. Would also be disgusting to watch old men shake their barely covered asses and balls in the faces of these children. You're just cheering, you're celebrating, you're getting your selfies, you're getting your likes and your follows on TikTok, and you think you're some kind of hero. It's pretty gross. But that's June. Can't wait for it to be over. Can't wait for July to show up, and these people will still be degenerate perverts grooming our kids, but for some reason we give them a whole month to just publicly display this disgusting behavior. Nobody cares. Nobody does anything about the children. Social workers, they tend to lean left, so they don't really see any reason to protect children from this. They think it's good. It's good for kids to be exposed to it. But let's see. Yeah. Yep, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that think that that's completely acceptable behavior. In fact, if you don't think it's acceptable behavior, you're a bigot, you're a Nazi, you're a horrible person. That's what they tell you. When really your heart's breaking because you can only imagine, like, as a decent person, that's not good for children. It's warping their minds, publicly grooming them. It's not good for kids. But we are in June, and that's what happens in June, and what happens throughout the year, but they insist on having us celebrate it in June. So I guess our hands are tied for now.
And there's plenty, as always, for the kids. Sesame Street, Barney and Snoopy have all met this important moment 20 years ago. The gay rights charity Stonewall ran a famous campaign. Exactly. That's always been my view, and I wish we'd all stuck to it. It wouldn't be Pride Month without a visit to the Uncensored studio by comedian and commentator James Barr. And I'm delighted to say this year he'll be sitting alongside Michael Knowles, who I'm sure is equally thrilled to be. So,
happy Pride.
Welcome back.
I'm told.
Welcome back, James.
I'm told this beady-eyed weirdo, James Barr, is a comedian, but I've never heard him say anything funny.
Cum spiritu tuo.
Exactly.
Why couldn't we just say everyone can be what they want, get over it, and get over it? Why a month of celebrations? I don't get an hour for being a straight guy. I make the point year in, year out to you.
I'm sure you do get an hour with your lovely wife to celebrate being straight.
Nobody else celebrates
or
my
maybe
hour.
It's less than an hour. But
I don't go out and see straight flags or
you're
banners
straight,
or
as I've said
cartoon
before,
strips.
you are a straight flag. You are the pinnacle of the straight movement. I think a lot of straight people watch you and feel that they are visible. But gay people, queer people, we don't have that representation.
Really?
No, Piers, we don't. We grow up.
Where do you feel invisible?
Everywhere, all year.
You.
So this is a common argument on the left when it comes to the alphabet gang, is the visibility argument. We're invisible. We're not visible enough. We need to be more visible. And it puts me in mind. It makes me want go to this list of criteria here. Has grandiose sense of self-importance, expects to be recognized without commensurate achievements. Excuse me. Is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. Believes that he or she is special and unique. Requires excessive admiration. Has a sense of entitlement. Is interpersonally exploitative, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others, is often envious of others, or believes that others are envious of him or her, shows arrogant, haughty behavior with attitudes. So, sorry. That, in case you're wondering, it's probably backwards in this shot, but this is a DSM-5, and that was narcissistic personality disorders. Now, to keep it short, basically, if you have, I believe, 5 or more, if you fit 5 or more of those criteria, then you qualify as someone with narcissistic personality disorder. And we can June. Pride Month is there pretty much every criteria is on display for at these Pride events, but the overwhelming need for visibility when you're not invisible. We see you, we can see you. You're visible, but you think that you need to be more visible. Seems to fit with the DSM.
Personally feel invisible. I've seen your stage
You
outfits.
know you're being ridiculous, okay? Straight people.
Why do you get a month? Why gay people?
What do you mean, why gay people?
Why'd you get a month?
Well, it's not just gay people, it's LGBTQ plus people.
Well, what's the exact number of...
It is a month.
Well, hang on.
It is a month.
Hang on.
To
LGBT plus... You missed out Q.
It is a month.
Why did you leave out Q?
You can't exclude people. Who's included?
Shut up, Michael.
No, but hang on, because it's now LGBT plus 2Q and then...
Of course.
Hang on, I've got it here.
Listen.
Do you know what it is? Do you know the exact latest one?
Well, because it changes lots, and
So what is
it's
it?
lots of different communities celebrate lots of different versions of it.
What is the
but
official
overall, it's LGBTQ plus.
No, it's LGBTQIA2.
It's okay to admit you just don't.
Right,
you
sure.
don't know.
What does any of that mean?
It's okay to admit
Are you
that,
now going to
but
test me
a
on what that
narcissist
is?
has a hard time admitting.
Because I've no
when they don't know.
idea.
That's amazing.
You know, two means two spirit.
That's right.
I heard
it does.
that one.
Yes, two
It's
two means
a
two
modern
spirit.
Indian
QIA,
thing.
what's that about?
Queer or questioning, and then also intersex, asexual.
Okay, and then two spirit.
Yeah, two spirit.
Yeah. What's that?
I think.
You know, you could just lay it all down in one thing. People who cannot produce offspring. Just put it all down, because that's what it does. Excuse me. It's what the movement actually does. What the flag actually represents is just people who cannot produce babies. And recently they've added the black and brown stripes. So it's basically people who cannot produce white babies is what it boils down to. I mean, I'm not trying to be provocative here. It's just a simple fact. Their flag literally represents anybody who cannot produce white babies.
That is a American.
You know,
Canadian. I actually, to be honest, I
You've
don't
no
know.
idea.
But listen,
We're celebrating something you've no idea what you're celebrating.
In the interest of pride, I'll tell you what it is.
Oh, great.
They say that two-spirit was this ancient Native American sexual
right.
identity.
Thank you.
It's not actually. It was invented in 1990.
How does Michael Knowles know this and you
because
don't?
I'll tell you
celebrate
exactly
Pride
why.
every year. I
Because
have to.
Michael is more obsessed with gay people.
So there's I'm going to refer you back to the DSM-5. This is a common thing. Like if we point out the insanity in their agenda, then we're obsessed according to them.
than even I am, and I sleep with men. That's why Michael knows
it's
what
so
this
amazing.
is.
We social conservatives,
plural.
we're always accused of being obsessed with these issues.
Well,
and
you
I say,
are.
hey, no, listen.
I didn't invite myself to sit here and talk about this with you.
I'll tell you how we won't talk about it anymore. I like the way things were before Pride Month. I like the way things were for years with the men go to the men's bathroom, women go to the women's. People kind of be quiet.
You're happy with gay marriage?
No, before that. I'm happy when we had real marriage.
Back. You want to go all the way back?
Yeah, to like 2015.
When you-
I want to go all the way back to
real marriage.
2015. Yeah, to like a
See,
real meaning.
Mike brings up a good point here that it's only been like a little over a decade. Most of us were alive and remember what it was like all that time ago before gay marriage and all that. And then, people like myself were on board with gay marriage. We argued for it, didn't see a problem with it, and we would laugh at the slippery slope people that now seem to have been correct.
So anyway, I'm totally fine with that. And then it was the social revolutionaries who wanted to change everything.
Why do you have a problem with-
And then I just object to it and I say, hey, I don't think that's a great idea. And you say, why are you so obsessed?
Why?
I say, I didn't change anything.
Why is it not okay for men to marry men, women to marry women?
Because they can. It's like, why can't a circle be a square? It just isn't.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. That's not an answer to my question. Why do you believe that that isn't okay?
Because marriage in its nature is the union between a man and a woman for the purpose of
According
procreation.
to
See, people like this, they want to do it just for the same reasons they want to infiltrate the church and then pretend that, Jesus was, pro-gay or all that, pro-degeneracy. It's because they want to infiltrate. They want to destroy something institutional from the inside that is not fitting with their lifestyle.
According to marriage, according to what it is.
according to the Bible?
No, according to nature.
Right. Insane.
How
According
is it?
to
Wait, okay, so I'm gonna back it up. It'll let me.
nature.
So, so this is a point that I'm constantly making, is that about following logical progressions, because Knowles has a very, very valid point, and it's the most valid point, is that it is against nature. People like beady eyes here will try to point to animals that are gay, that do gay shit, like that's some kind of good argument. No, that doesn't mean that it's natural for humans to participate in behaviors like this, because and the proof that it is not natural is that you cannot reproduce in those circumstances. You just can't. If it was natural, you'd be able to reproduce, because that's how nature works. Nature is dependent on reproduction, not destruction, reproduction. That is how nature works.
No, according to nature.
Right. Insane. According to nature.
Yeah. It's like
What are you talking about? According to nature.
Well, marriage.
You've seen in nature that there are gay animals, right?
Yeah, that's not marriage. They're not married.
No, because marriage is what, like,
But
just
Michael,
some
the
kind of
union
social-
between man and
it's a
woman.
social
Michael,
construct.
Michael,
But it's a
Michael,
social construct.
Michael,
So
it's a
that
natural
can change. It
institution.
can-
But Michael,
it's
do you
not
accept-
natural, is
do you
it?
accept-
Because as you just
Hang
quite
on.
rightly pointed out,
That's
animals
natural.
don't get married
I'm about to
naturally.
I'm
either.
about
beings
to
do.
I'm about to
But
say
that's
something.
not natural.
I'm about to
They're
say
natural.
something you might agree with, so shut up a minute. Right? Do you accept that his proclivities to having sex with other men
But it's also love. I want to make that distinction.
and love, but
Okay, you can love whoever you want. That's fine, I guess. I mean, but it doesn't make it natural. If you want to work against nature, that's fine. But that's a problem. It's like, when we went from tolerance, like forcing tolerance, then they forced acceptance, and forcing belief that you can love whoever you want, but you can't force other people to accept what to them is unacceptable.
is a natural thing.
Yeah, I think that there are all sorts of kind of weird deviancies and aberrations that
But
come
that's
out.
not an
in the
okay
world.
word to use about.
But if it's natural,
that's the word I'm using.
if it's natural,
I love how he's like, that's the word. Well, he's like, let me get back up. The beady-eyed one is like, that's not okay to use that word. And he's like, well, that's the word I'm using. See, and that goes to what I was saying of like the progression from tolerance, acceptance, whatever, to now you're like trying to tell us what words we can use. You can't. And you know, under Biden and Obama, we were, you know, shut down and we kind of put our heads down and said, oh, I guess we can't use these words. Well, then you just came at us with more bullshit. So now we're pushing back and we're saying, no, we're going to use the words we want because guess what? We have that right. We have that freedom.
Michael,
But it's a social construct.
Michael,
so that can change. It
But Michael, do you
natural,
accept?
is
Do you
it?
accept?
Because as you just quite rightly pointed out, animals don't get married naturally.
I'm about to say
that's
something.
not natural.
I'm about to say something you might agree with. So shut up a minute. Right? Do you accept that his proclivities to having sex with other men?
But it's also love. I want to make that distinction.
And love, but is a natural thing.
Yeah, I think that there are all sorts of kind of weird deviancies and aberrations that come out.
That's not an okay word to use about.
But if it's
Well,
natural,
it's actually
natural,
scientifically appropriate.
Well, because we mean natural in two different ways. We mean natural like things that just happen. Like, you know, animals will kill each other and eat each other, or the cannibalism is natural, I guess, in that way. And we also mean natural as man's participation in, like, the moral law, in the eternal law. So you say, well, it's maybe cannibalism is natural in a certain sense, but really it's totally contrary to the natural law. It's not good for human beings, so we shouldn't do it. And so I say marriage is a natural institution. All I'm pointing out
do you think he's a deviant for being gay?
Yeah, but deviant, yeah, a little bit.
But that's
Everybody's
your
a
own
little bit
opinion of
deviant.
it. The thing is, people that are homophobic, which you are being a little bit right now, are always closeted gay men afraid of their own feelings.
Hold on.
So I want to look at that. Yeah, I want to look at that closer because Michael is being very good faith, and he's trying to be, you know, not a dick. He's trying to be, you know, kind of compassionate, but still honest. So, and of course, you know, the reaction from a D-Gen is to immediately throw buzzwords at Michael like homophobic, as if that's going to completely discredit Michael's point. So I pulled it up here. The what the definition according to Perplexity is a phobia is an intense irrational fear of something, such as an object, situation, or person that leads to avoidance and distress. Is often considered a type of anxiety disorder, especially when the fear is persistent and interferes with daily life. So I've also seen definitions that refer to it as not just a fear, but disgust. I wouldn't say most of us are afraid of it. I don't think being disgusted or bothered by something means that you're afraid of it. You know, I'm disgusted by mayonnaise, but I'm not afraid of mayonnaise. And I'm not secretly in love with mayonnaise. I don't secretly want to be mayonnaise. But I am disgusted by it.
A little bit right now are always closeted gay men afraid of their own feelings.
Hold on.
The research.
His always. So his argument is that if you're not completely on board with the agenda, then you're in the closet always, every time. Every time. And we just don't know. We just didn't know. We just have no idea, or we're hiding it. Society, we're pretending to be straight. It's crazy. I didn't know that.
Research says it.
Wait a
so
second.
Michael, what I think is happening here is that
I'm learning so much about
you are
myself.
afraid of your own closeted homosexual
You know what's
feelings,
amazing
and that's
about-
why you're saying
That's
it's not
what it is.
natural.
What's amazing?
Well,
about this
interesting.
is-
Interesting.
That's what it
That's
is.
what's happening.
It's not that your public displays of degenerate behavior are completely fucking disgusting, and you are creating trauma in children. Just because that kid's laughing and clapping doesn't mean you're not creating trauma in them. You are putting things in their subconscious that later will have to be worked out in therapy. They're only smiling and laughing and clapping because they don't want to disappoint their degenerate fucking parents. They don't want to disappoint the disgusting adults in their lives.
Interestingly,
Have you been to gay conversion therapy?
Hold on, I've never made
I
it.
think
No,
well, you
I've
should
never
try
been to
it
any
because
therapy.
it worked on me.
No.
Well, that's why I'm gay.
You know, what's so amazing about that rejoinder, which you always hear, is if you express the view of homosexuality held by Christians, religious Jews, Muslims, like perfectly ordinary
But
people.
all
Hold
of that-
on. If you just express that view, notice what the really pro-LGBT activists will always say. The very first thing they'll do to insult you is to say, well, actually, you're secretly gay.
No.
And I say, I wasn't even using it as an insult. You're the one using it as an insult.
I didn't say you're secretly gay because of
love that
that. I said
argument.
you're secretly gay because you're.
I love that argument. They're basically using their own identity as an insult to you. So it's like they don't even take themselves seriously. They know that they're full of shit. They know that their lifestyle is full of shit too.
My
Being
nice hair.
homophobic and saying I'm a deviant. That's
Well,
why I
let
said
me
you're
tell you,
secretly
that is
gay.
that. That's
But
the
that
same
is because
thing.
you're afraid of gay people. And the only reason
not
that
afraid
that
of
would
gay
be is
people.
because of that. And let me
not
just come
afraid.
back to what you said about religion. Leviticus
So I'm going to go back to the DSM because you know how it says. Go back to this criteria here. Okay. Is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. So someone like Michael here will tell them flat out, like, honestly, it's unnatural, and I disagree with the lifestyle because it's not helpful for society. It's harmful, and the narcissist will twist that around and be like, no, you're just jealous. You just want to be us.
which is a chapter in the Bible that most people are drawing on.
a book of the Bible,
A book, sorry, chapter, whatever. I don't mean to offend anyone here, but that was written by the Jewish people after the Babylonians invaded as a sort of strict moral code, right?
Yeah.
You're impressed by how intelligent I am,
I'm
sounding
stunned
briefly.
for what I'm hearing.
That is not God's word. That is the word of a strict moral code that came in after an invasion, after a war. There are
I love how somebody like this is gonna actually try to lecture a Christian on the Bible, and the Christian, in his mind, the Christian is just gonna be like, okay, well, the DGen said so he must be right. No, we immediately dismiss you. Immediately.
so many other chapters that are ignored, other texts that are ignored.
Just for your edification, Christians and Jews and Muslims believe that the Bible is in fact God's word.
Yes,
And
but
not that God literally writes it with his hands.
isn't God's word.
But I'm just pointing out to you, you say that a Jewish scribe wrote down the book of Leviticus, therefore it's not God's word. The Christian belief is not that God, like literally a hand came out of the cloud to write the Bible.
yeah,
it's that
obviously.
God inspired the men who wrote the Bible.
Okay, but why are the men
So
that
that's how
wrote
it's
that
God's
book correct and the other books that weren't included incorrect?
What other books?
Okay, I want you to read a book.
Why
called
are
The Queer-
books that are not in the Bible?
I would like you to read a book called The Queer Thing About Sin, which
I don't think that's a book of the Bible, is it? Because that's what Michael's asking. What that seemed to be your point, is that why are Christians ignoring other books in the Bible that whatever, I guess, he thinks can somehow support his degenerate lifestyle. To which, Michael's like, what other books? And then the beady-eyed Hove is over here pushing somebody else's book that's not the Bible.
dives into this quite deeply.
Can you explain the point? I'm trying to get
I
to
think
what
the point is that a lot of books were written around then, and only certain ones were chosen. Also, you're only handpicking certain
books that
you're
were not the Bible
handpicking
were also
certain
written at
laws
the same
from
time.
that book.
All right.
Why are you not worrying about what you eat?
All right, let me just ask again. But let me ask again. Regardless of your individual views about this, okay? Why do you get a month to just go on about being gay? But why do you?
It's not a month to go on
Why not
about
have it
being
if you
gay.
want? Have a day. Have a
seems to be a
pride
month
day.
about
Why a
going on
month?
about
We
being
have lots
gay.
of different pride events all over the world. I think it's an important month.
So you get more than a month. That's not really a good argument against Pierce's point.
Because it shows people that we're okay. We're allowed to exist. And
We don't need to see it. As part of the people community, we don't need to see it. We don't care. We don't care. You want us to care. For whatever trauma that you have in your life needs to be worked out in therapy, but we're not here for that. That's not our job to make you feel better about your poor decisions and your degenerate lifestyles. It's not. I know you need people to give you some kind of participation trophy for living a substandard lifestyle, but that's not our job. That's not what we're here for.
that the world supports us.
Yeah, but surely you've reached a point now where this is
No,
general...
Piers, we haven't, because there's idiots like
I'm
Michael
much
sat
more-
here.
Listen.
Bless you. And
He's being super, like Michael's being super good faith. Way nicer than I would be. Way nicer than a lot of people would be. Just being super nice, and this BDI dude is just insulting him, because that's where the left goes when they can't argue against a point.
Listen,
I'm a fan, but
I'm from New York.
You're
I
a
went
fan
to-
of an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't want to offend you.
And he's
at
here
all.
sharing a
hold on, he's a
platform with a
fan.
deviant. I mean, I'm a little bit confused.
Look,
he's happy to share a platform with a deviant. You think you're a fan of an idiot. I mean, forgive me if I'm sitting here feeling a little bit confused.
Listen,
So, wait, now you're confused? Does that mean that you are part of the LGBT?
Not about my sexuality, no.
No, listen.
he's not a cute.
I've never harboured any indecent thoughts towards you.
I think your question is a bit, you're simplifying it slightly, and I think you know why.
No, I'm genuinely confused. I get why certain days get celebrated as a day, right? Where you have a day where the world's focus is on, okay, that day. And there are many, many, many days like that. And I'm all in favour of that. That's fine.
right.
And I'd be totally fine with a Pride Day around the world where everyone who's LGBTQIA2SL, you don't even know what 2SL means.
I don't understand the desire, even a day, you know, like I'm not saying take things away from people, but I don't even understand it needing a day to celebrate that you have relations with members of the opposite sex or the same sex. I just don't understand that as a point of celebration. It seems like if we're to follow what the alphabet gang tells us, then it's an immutable characteristic, can't be helped, can't be changed. Why are we celebrating immutable characteristics? It's not an accomplishment. It's really not. You're not accomplishing anything. In fact, you're preventing accomplishments. They call themselves progressive, but it's regressive. Just naturally regressive, because you, again, can't reproduce. So the buck kind of stops with you. The only way you can have children is if you can't have them yourself. You have to pay somebody to provide the service, which is a whole different topic for a whole nother day.
Just to your point, we had
Let
it
me,
checked.
Piers,
But
let me
hang on,
just-
hang on. It's a term used by some indigenous North American people to describe individuals whose spirits are a blend of both masculine and
But it
feminine.
was invented in 1990 by a woman who said it
let
came
me
to her in a
just-
dream.
Right, to
so
me-
it's a
to me-
totally
let me just
modern
speak to
thing.
To
my-
me, a lot of that
let me just
lecturing and
speak-
stuff is complete nonsense.
Let me just speak to my
and as
personal-
always, when people talk about things like two-spirit, whatever, and I start to say, well,
So the two-spirit thing, Michael's right, it was invented by a woman in the 90s, and it was kind of co-opted. Traditionally, the two-spirit thing is like a human and / animal spirit in the Native American community, in certain tribes. That they believe that they shared the spirit of a wolf or the spirit of a hawk, but some psychopath in the 90s decided to say no, it's male and female.
I can identify as whatever I want, and I do the old, okay, I want to be a two-spirit penguin. And then you all go, well, that's ridiculous. But here are you supporting a month, celebrating a series of terminology which you don't even know what some of it means.
As a gay man, I'm supporting anyone in the LGBTQ plus community.
Why would
That
you
doesn't mean- I
exclude
don't
the- why would you exclude
I'm not
the
excluding
two-spirit?
anyone, Piers. You're
Why are you excluding
trying,
the two-spirit?
You're trying to cancel me.
As a straight man, we wanted to defend everything else. If we're gonna strike a line like that, then we can defend everything against that.
Within my own community, I know what you're doing.
I think
Can
they'll be as
please
shocked.
just
They
speak?
will be as
The
shocked as
reason-
I am.
The reason
You can't describe what the
in the
two-spirit
UK, I
people
think
are.
in the UK we don't have two-spirit, so I'm not completely across that. And I don't.
Would you like to apologise to the two-spirit community?
Would you
for-
like to apologise to the two-spirit community?
Why?
Because
He
you just-
supports them. He's including them.
Right, great.
I've included them, you haven't.
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want
Would
me
you like
say
to
here? Can I
apologise
tell
He's
you?
so
to the
flummoxed.
two-spirit community for not... For
It's like the woke part of his brain took over the gay part of his brain, and now he's like, oh shit. He's like flustering because he's afraid of being canceled by some obscure mafia of woke degenerates because he didn't use the correct phrasing. That's something that genuinely terrifies these people on the left. Like, they are actually legitimately afraid of losing whatever clout they've accomplished by sucking up to the wordsmiths on that side.
Not knowing what they mean.
Yeah, sure. I apologize to the Two-Spirit community for not knowing what that means.
But you
but I would like to understand.
But you accept this is part of the problem. That we're spending a month celebrating stuff which you can't even explain what we're celebrating.
You won't even let me get a word in. And the reason that I don't understand what it is because people like you are just shouting over LGBTQ plus people who are trying
you wouldn't have understood it.
He's shouting over you. I mean, he's not even shouting. You're flustered.
However
You're
long I
still
gave
doing
you.
it. You're literally still shouting
You
at
wouldn't
me.
have known however long I gave you.
Can I tell you why I think a Pride Month is important?
Yes.
I think it is important because when I grew up as gay at school, I lived in Section 28, which was a law in the UK that banned teachers or anybody discussing gay people. So nobody knew what gay was. So when I was bullied for being gay, and people still get bullied all the time in the UK for being LGBTQ+, Two-Spirit around the world.
People get arrested.
Very
People get arrested in the UK if you even say the word lesbian without a smile on your face. You go to jail.
very difficult. And I think Pride Month gives TV shows, stations, conversations like this a platform
You're not
to say
explaining
to people
again.
that feel alone that
I
they
get
are
it.
not alone.
I get it. And look, it was illegal to be gay when I was born.
Exactly.
Right? So I'm not oblivious
Which is why
to...
you're not gay.
Yeah,
And,
but
you know,
also
if-
it's why I hope you would say, I don't have a trace of homophobia about me. I've always been completely tolerant of LGBT community.
Well, you hide behind that.
I remember when I used to care. I used to care about whether or not somebody thought I was homophobic or racist or any of the other isms and schisms. But I remember I stopped caring. I stopped caring, and it's because of shit like this.
Hope you would say, I don't have a trace of homophobia about me. I've always been completely tolerant of LGBT community.
Well, you hide behind that.
See, he's like, well, you hide behind that. And that's what it is. It's like you capitulate to these people, and all they do is they push harder. They think they view kindness as a weakness, and they're not happy until they've taken everything you are and destroyed it. Plain and simple.
Lose it when you get into all the other letters, because even you don't know what they mean.
But I'm not those letters, so why would I necessarily
you
know
did
what
bring in
they
the tea.
mean?
Wow,
You
so
brought
you
up the
only
tea.
care...
No,
about,
I don't only care
You only
about...
care
you can't
about
expect me
certain
to
numbers
know-
of letters for Pride Month.
Do you know about every single different type of straight person all
Stop
over
me
the world?
wanting a
It is kind of funny that Pierce is just fucking with him, and he doesn't get it, and he's supposed to be a comedian.
month to celebrate
Okay,
it.
but it's
you
not...
do.
You're oversimplifying
You mentioned the
it.
tea. Forget the Two-Spirit for a second. You mentioned the tea. In Pride Month, are we really expected to support the tea? In other words, am I obligated to believe this ludicrous notion that a man can really be a woman? Am I a hater? Am I a bigot? Am I secretly trans if I don't believe in that?
I don't think that you are obligated to believe or support anything if you don't want to.
Great.
But
So here comes the but no, I don't think you actually believe that.
I personally do.
But publicly, I have to because Pride
No, you
is
don't.
everywhere, and you
No,
get a
you
whole month.
literally don't. You
There are
spend your
signs
entire
all over the
career
public
not
square.
doing
There are
that.
As long
flags
as you keep your
everywhere.
mouth shut about
There are
it.
lessons in schools. There are
Would
commercials
you
on
mind?
TV.
Would you mind if we had a straight day?
No, I wouldn't mind at all.
What if we had a straight year?
You do have a straight year. But if you want to have one
Really?
So
specific...
if I went out and had a load of flags celebrating,
I'm fine with that.
Straight
You know
day.
they did that in the US and no one showed up. It
Really?
bombed. I think it was Washington or somewhere else.
That'd be quite
had a
funny.
straight
This is
celebration. You
look,
should have gone.
I know I didn't get invited. Maybe they
Well-
thought I was gay. This is my problem with the Pride Month.
Right.
Is it one?
I think because maybe like we don't have those because our identity, our sexual identity, or let me back up. Our identities aren't mixed up with our sexual behaviors, and we don't need like coat parades. We don't need constant false validation because it's just normal and natural to be us, to be straight. I know that's gonna hurt some feelings, but again, I'm just speaking logical facts here. It's natural. It is natural because it's really the only circumstance under which you can reproduce.
Pride is like the queen of all sins. and now the sin of all queens, some might say. But
Ba-boom.
why does one have to have pride when you could just say, look, it's a crazy world. People sometimes do some aberrant things. We all like Cole Porter and Noel Coward. Why, in other words?
Why is what I'm doing aberrant? Sorry, abhorrent. What are you talking about?
Because men, the natural
Why
end
do you
of
think that?
the natural
and
end
why are
of
you
a man.
sexualizing love?
Here, I'll tell
you so much. That's why I'm saying you're in the closet because you immediately think of gay men.
Sex involves love.
Wait, you think of two gay men and you immediately jump to deviant, abhorrent. Like really, what we're talking about is love. Okay? You
So that video that I played, the intro, that didn't look like love. That did not look like love.
decide to take it sexual. I'm not talking about
I think
sex.
gay stuff
You
is
are.
sexual. Is that not? Am I wrong in believing gay stuff?
So when I
has
think about
something
you
to
and
do
your
with
wife,
sex?
do I immediately jump to that being sexual?
That is a sexual
Do you look at
relationship.
Minnie
Sex
and
is what
Mickey Mouse
defines-
and be like, oh, they're actually definitely having sex?
If they're
That's why I'm saying you're in the closet because you immediately think of gay men.
Sex involves love.
Wait,
in
you
the
think of
best
two
cases.
gay men and you immediately jump to deviant, abhorrent. Like really, what we're talking about is love.
No,
Okay? You decide to take it sexual.
Sexual. Is that not? Am I wrong in believing gay stuff?
So when I
has
think
something
about
to
you
do
and your
with sex?
wife, do I immediately jump to that being sexual?
That is a sexual
Do you look at
relationship.
Minnie
Sex
and
is what
Mickey Mouse
defines-
and be like, oh, they're actually definitely having sex?
If they're married, then sex is involved.
So when you
Yes.
look at Mickey and Minnie Mouse, you think they're having sex? Is that
well,
what's happening?
they're mice. They're
Is
not
there-
people.
well,
I don't know
right,
their
but if
age.
you were
I
to
don't know if
see-
they're legally married.
But if you were to see them celebrating Pride, you'd be offended and
Yeah,
you'd say, how dare they?
You ask, why do I say it's deviant?
That's a whole different topic. When you have children's cartoon characters using those as pride, quote unquote, pride icons, you are grooming children. It's fucked up.
I'm not saying it. I'm not like
Well, no, I asked
or
you
something.
why you're not offended when you see two straight cartoons, but you would be offended when you saw two straight gay
relationships,
cartoons.
like
children
marriage,
shouldn't
straight
be exposed
relationships
to that.
are normal and good.
You are just
And-
repeating yourself. You're not answering my question.
I am.
Why are you sexualizing two men in love?
who have sex. Why? Because that's kind of what defines it.
But that's not what pride is. We're not saying, oh my God, look,
Oh
we're
my
all having
God, with
sex.
this fake
We're all
innocence
fucking each other. That's not
bullshit.
what pride
well,
is.
that
Pride
is how the
saying-
pride parades actually do generally
Pride
play out
is
on Main
literally
Street.
saying-
like there's like leather and weird spankings and things. It is. That's how it plays
But
out.
the straight community do that as well.
No, we don't have.
Yes,
we
we
have
just
never
acknowledge
done
we
that.
don't have
Oh my God,
parades.
you are
No.
joking. Straight
we don't.
people have so many kinks.
We do not have any
What's your
spank
porn
parades
category?
ever.
What kink parades do we have? When is and this guy is saying that we do it all the time. I've never seen such a thing.
What do you
No.
watch when you're watching
I
porn?
do not watch pornography.
Come on, you must.
I don't.
What's your
I
category?
don't watch pornography.
Really? You don't?
I don't.
What-
This is the problem with the
this is-
degen. The degen can't imagine that other people aren't degenerate. In the mind of the degen, everybody's degenerate. They're just lying if they say they aren't. But guess what? They're wrong. You're wrong. There are plenty of people who are not degenerate.
Your hand on the Bible?
Yeah, I don't have a Bible on me. I don't have Leviticus either.
Okay,
I
you've
don't watch
never
pornography.
watched. What about when you were at college?
No,
What
you
did
know,
you
I
wank
might have
to?
seen a naked lady
Listen,
once or twice, but I don't watch pornography.
Okay, and
I
what
really
kind of
don't.
naked
What did
lady
you
are
do
you into?
20
What are your
years ago?
kinks? What do you like doing with your
kinks.
wife? Well, if you're going to sexualize my
It's like,
community,
I love how he
if you're
says-
going to
I
do
love how he
that,
goes-
I'm going to do
he
it
goes-
back.
He goes, why do you think gay people are having
Because I am
anything to do with
playing
sex?
the same
And then he's
game-
asking
because I'm
about
doing
weird-
this- because I'm giving it back to you.
Here's why we would say it's deviant, is because man has like natural ends, like the eye is for seeing, the glass is for drinking water out of, and man has a sexual end, which is sexual congress with women, which creates babies.
Okay,
That's
why
what
do you
it's-
have a
That's called
G-spot?
T-wall.
Why do you have a G-spot in your bum?
I don't.
Yes, you do. You actually
promise
do. That is scientifically
don't.
proven.
I
And if you
don't.
go all the way back to ancient Rome, men have been having sex with men.
I just want to clarify.
Yeah, so that's seems like a scientific impossibility. I really don't buy that, Cope, at all. I think that's just something a crazy person tells himself.
One
For the
time,
audience, I
what
do
you're
not
talking
have
about
that
is insane.
where he
What
says-
you are
I
talking
don't-
about is
The
literally
TikTok clips
not
from this
true.
are going to blow up. I
You
just
are
want to say
literally
that.
lying. You're like missing out on so much. You
I
could be
don't
doing.
have a G-spot.
Well, you do, and your wife
don't.
and you should enjoy
Well,
playing.
let me just conclude things by saying,
But again-
James, I have no problem with who you have sex with. You can have sex with whoever
It's
you
not
like.
about sex.
Or who you-
Stop bringing it
or
back
who you love,
to sex.
or who you love,
Thank
or who
you.
you want to marry. You have my blessing for all.
Yeah, I co-sign. I agree with Piers. Yeah, don't really care. Just quit pushing it on people just who don't agree with your lifestyle. Respect boundaries and for fuck's sake, leave our children alone. Leave our kids out of it. Quit. At the very least, it looks like you're trying to indoctrinate them into your lifestyle. Maybe that's not what's happening. Maybe it's just a weird coincidence, but it looks like you are. It looks like you're trying to groom the kids. So maybe cut that out. Go do your thing. Let's stop with the fucking month-long celebration of degeneracy because you hate Christians so much. You're not going to get rid of us. Like, Christians aren't going anywhere. We've been nice so far, and that kindness has been seen as a weakness. So let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. I'm sure somebody out there does. I'm sure plenty of people think I'm wrong, and that's okay. I may be. I always leave that open. But yeah, I do stand by what I believe, just like I used to stand by the other side before it got out of hand. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. Maybe you think that it is natural that that people don't reproduce. That seems to be a common theme among the left. But yeah, let me know. Let me know down below, and help me out with the subscribe. In the meantime, have a good one.